This is Wednesday the 30th of August 2023, the Irish National Stud Kildare. You'd believe we're nearly coming to the end of the month already, my God. I'm going to be doing a playlist of my memories here, my sad and happy and sad memories of my time at the stud between 2017 to 2021, 22, thereabouts. I was looking at videos of me talking about the time when Pallavicini and Freegal were swapped around the paddocks. I was getting confused. Pallavicini and Freegal were swapped around in different paddocks. I thought Pallavicini was over this side and Freegal was over the other side. Apparently, it turns out the Freegal was over this side. I was getting mixed up with the two of them. Apparently, and I was trying to compare the two of them with the markings of the socks, and I was saying, Freegal's got a sock in the right leg and Pallavicini's got a sock in the left leg, and apparently I was wrong. I was mistaking their markings. Apparently Pallavicini's got socks in both his hind legs, and I was also saying another day, also in the earlier days, also that Pallavicini and Pallavicini he has a long line in his nose, or long blaze in his nose, which in fact he doesn't have long line in his line. I should know that. I should know that he hasn't got a line in his nose. He has a spot in his nose, or star, as they call it, star. And I should also know that he hasn't got a line in his nose. Pallavicini he has a star on his nose, or on his nose, yes, on his forehead. Take it apart. On his forehead, he has a star, and not a line on his nose. But I should know that actually, because I know him long enough to know that now. But I don't know how I made those errors. Oh, I'm much terrible. But there's a time that I remember Pallavicini and Pallavicini Freegal was swapped around. Remember, Freegal was in Lucy Pimpernel's old paddock, which was now Echiano's paddock now. Remember?
Yeah.
And Freegal's over here, this side. It's over this side, and I think it was in this paddock. And I was trying to find out which is which, and I was trying to figure out where they were. And it turns out that Pallavicini was actually in Freegal's old paddock, which is now the paddock owned by Venus of Spain. It's Venus of Spain's old paddock, and Freegal was over the other side. He was over the other side. And Lucy Pimpernel was over this side. It wasn't Freegal at all. It was actually, I think it was Pallavicini was over. Sorry, Pallavicini was over that side. And Pallavicini was over that side, and Freegal's over here. Freegal's over here, and the other side was Pallavicini. And Pallavicini Freegal's over here, and Pallavicini was over in this, which is now Venus of Spain's old paddock, which was then owned by Freegal, and Lucy Pimpernel was over the other side. So there you go. I think that's the way it was. I think that's the other way around. Unless Freegal's over there and Lucy Pimpernel was over here, and Pallavicini was in Freegal's old paddock, which is now Venus of Spain's old paddock. It was only one of those. But I know that Pallavicini was over in Venus of Spain's old paddock. He wasn't over here, and I was mixing up Freegal and Freegal and Pallavicini's markings. I was saying for Freegal's one with the sock in the left leg and Pallavicini's sock in the right leg, that hind leg. And apparently Pallavicini's got socks on both hind legs. And I was also saying Pallavicini had the line in his nose and he hasn't got a spot in his forehead. I should know that. I know I'm long enough to know that now. Stupid. It's one of those errors I made.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was watching that video last night. What am I saying? I should know that Pallavicini's hasn't got a spot, or he hasn't got a line. Oh my God. There's another time Gay Force. I couldn't find Gay Force. Gay Force's gate was open. I couldn't find Gay Force anywhere. There's nowhere to be seen. Couldn't find Gay Force, and he wasn't in the stable. And Gay Force's gate was open, and I walked right past Pallavicini's paddock, and apparently, I saw a horse in I think it was this paddock here, and I thought it was Gay Force or somebody, I couldn't remember. And I walked right past, and there was a horse in Pallavicini's paddock, and he had a blue coat. I didn't see it. I walked right past, I didn't see it. I watched the video back this morning there. I watched it yesterday. And we were going to the stallion stables later on, and it's only they told us. They didn't find out later on that day. Do you remember? Said, oh, he was in Pallavicini's old paddock. He's down in Pallavicini's old paddock. Yeah, that horse with the blue coat that we saw in Pallavicini's paddock was Gelfoot. He moved over to Pallavicini's paddock. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember I said, he must have been in his old paddock and he must have moved him over to the other side because his gate was open.
Yeah.
Remember? We moved him over to Pallavicini's old paddock. It's hard to see him there because Pallavicini's old paddock, which was down there. Remember?
Yeah.
It was down in a slope because it was down by a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's down by a lake. There's the one down at the very end on the left. Remember? It's down a slope because it was down by near the lake there. That's the one he used to be in. That's where it came from. And I'm not too sure. I don't think there's anyone in there now. I don't think there's any horse in there now. Should
No.
The old paddock down there. No, I think not. I don't think there's anyone in there now. But yeah, I remember those. I can't believe it. All these different mistakes I'm making. All these different errors. I'm watching all this. What in the hell am I saying? Oh my God, there's just so many mistakes. You know, I couldn't get over all the mistakes I've made. But anyway, time for change.
It's now 5 to 3. I guess for lunch.
It didn't even show Nando there, like. This is Nando Parada. Where is it? It was over here. It's up this way.
There he is there.
Huh? The camera's in there. Look at the gate. Look at the gate. Let's go up this way. Don't get the fence stuff with the camera up. You zoom into my little bit, not too much. Don't put too much because it also goes shaky, you know.
There you go.
Did you say Pallavicini was there?
Yeah, it's in there.
I don't have a poster for him.
Where is he? He's down the back there.
Zoom into him there, yeah, you have no poster for him. Apparently he's retired. I've never seen any covers of him, do you know that?
Did you hear that officially, or is that just you thinking?
What he said? Did I hear a man saying?
Oh, your man said that, yeah.
Did I hear him say that?
I don't remember.
Huh?
No, remember.
I don't think you're listening at all half the time, right? Did I hear the tour guy saying that he's retired?
No, I didn't hear him.
Huh?
I wasn't listening to him.
I thought you would have heard, but he has a very loud voice.
Yeah.
Pallavicini or Pallavicini or whatever he called him, he said he's retired. Wherever he called him, he said he was retired. Well, I never seen him be let out to cover at all. I never seen him be let out to cover once since I come to this order. I'm here 6 years. Now, anyone in this one here, up here? This decoration right now, this is the Son of Galileo. This is the... I never introduced this as the decoration right side of the paddocks. Apologies, folks. This is the decoration right side of the paddocks. I have to introduce the decoration right side of the paddocks. This is decoration right side of the paddocks. I named this after Decoration Night. Apologise. And this is Wartad's old paddock, by the way. This is where Pallavicini is now. Pallavicini is in Wartad's old paddock. He's in where Wartad used to be. My friend Wartad. I know that because the bench is there. And you can see the bench is different now because they had a different bench there the last time when Wartad was there. They have a different bench there now. But this is Decoration Night. This is the stallion that I named the paddocks after. Where is he?
Then you're around.
Oh.
Down there.
I named it after him because he's the son of Galileo. That's the reason why I call it after him. He's the son of Galileo. So I thought it's a tribute to his dad. Here's that. You're getting me there. Don't get the girl there. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Put the camera in there. Get him walking around there. Beautiful. His coat looks very shiny, doesn't it? Could be, he looks like he's been groomed. Looks like he's just been groomed, doesn't he? Huh? Is he limping?
No, I think so.
Looks like he's limping.
No,
Eh?
no.
What?
Not limping, no. Walking slowly, that's all.
Looks like he's limping.
No, that's limping.
Huh?
Not limping.
From here looks like he's limping. From here looks like he's limping then. From here looks like he's limping limp.
Yeah.
Huh? You sure?
Yeah.
I remember when I first met him, I was talking to him at the stable back in 2018. I was looking at him at the stable and I thought his skin looked darker. He looks like he's darker when I first met him, unless he had a different colour, unless his coat, they get the winter coat, the summer coats. I was talking to him it was around February, March, that's the first time I was talking to him. February, March, probably they had a different coat around that time of year. Different seasons, I suppose. Different seasons of the year. The coats change. His coat looked slightly darker unless it was the light. Unless there was the light or something, whatever way the light was. It looks slightly darker than that in the video. When I was watching it back in 2018, me talking to him at the stable, his coat looks like slightly darker than that. The shade looked darker unless there was the light. It was probably the way it was filmed, wherever it was filmed. But his skin looked darker unless it was his coat. The other way the coats change in different seasons of the year. They would go darker or lighter or whatever else, They get extra hair or, they get warmer. The way the warmer coats come in, sometimes the skin comes out different shade or something like that. But his skin looked darker back from February 2018. When I first met him 5 years ago, it looked like different to that. It didn't look that bright. It didn't look that light when I first met him, unless it was the light. I'm not too sure. You look back. I'll show you that video. You can see for yourself. And see what you think. February 2018 when I first met him.
I guess lunch.
Is the same one in this project here? This pencil. I left the arms on the other side, isn't it?
No horse there.
Where's the little loose pimple now?
I have no idea.
Is he over the other side now?
I have no idea.
Or is it on the other far end?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't remember from the last time. Oh, he's down a bit further down, isn't he?
That's right. He passed on the way, yeah.
He missed
lunch?
He missed him, didn't he?
It's just 5 to 3.
What's that say about interrupting me, Liam?
Yeah, shouldn't.
I'm terrible for interrupting. You're very rude, Liam. Excuse me. Who's the boss here when it comes to YouTube?
I am.
No, you're not. I am.
I'm the cameraman.
Good. I'm the boss. He's beautiful, isn't he? Huh? Isn't he beautiful?
Yeah.
I'd love to look at him all the time too. I think him and Invincible are probably the two most athletic of the horses.
Yeah. So with the possible exception of Phoenix. Inclusion of Phoenix. He's very athletic. I know he's horrible looking, but he's very athletic.
To you, maybe. Good thing I not put him on camera, isn't it? You put him on camera accidentally this year, and I could have killed you that time. I could have killed you for putting him on camera, Liam. I could have killed you for putting him on camera. Do you know that? I could have killed you, Liam. Do you know that? I could have killed you for putting him on camera. I don't want that fucking camera, Liam. You know that. first met him, he kept making mistakes and errors on his poster.
Mm.
Remember the first year? They had the same thing written 3 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that, yeah.
About grade 1, so 14, 14 grade 1 winners, 14 grade 1 winners, 14, 14, so it's 14 something and something about grade 1.
Something like that, yeah.
It said about 3 times. They said it 3 times on the. It said about 3 times on the.
There was bullet points. Remember the bullet points?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was written about 3 times on his poster. Yeah, and another time they got the year wrong at the birthdays. They had national defence as a year wrong. It made them out to be 12 years old. The year they had the year wrong.
Hello, the grade 9.
They made them to be 8 to 12. I had to get them to change the year on his birthday. Hello. How are you? How are you, Jack? Jack. How are you? I'm looking back on old videos of you and me when we first met. Yeah, and you wouldn't let me go near your nose. Wouldn't let me touch your nose. Do you know that? I don't know why you were so nervous. I don't understand why you was so nervous. Do you remember that? Do you know that? Do you remember that? Do you remember you wouldn't let me touch his nose?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Do you know when you first let me touch your nose? It was actually the 10th of March 2018 when I first got my first tip of his nose. The 10th of March 2018 is when I got my first tip of his nose. Yeah, it's the 10th of March to get my first touch of your nose. I don't know why you're so nervous of me touching your nose. I don't know why you're so nervous. Nervous horsey. You don't need to be nervous. It wasn't like I was going to bite you or anything. I was only trying to be friendly. Goodness me. Nervous. He's nervous. He's talking. He's kind of like, this is what he kept doing with his head. See that? Do you remember that?
You remember that?
It's going to pet his nose. Look, it's going to pet his nose. That's how he did this. Well, let me go near him. He just wouldn't let me go near him. Jesus Christ. I wasn't going to harm him or anything. Is he terrified of me? I was no threat to you at all. He was going as if I was a threat to him or something. It was as if he was afraid of me or something. No. You no reason to be afraid of me, Decorated Knight. So you're trying to be friendly. God's sake. Yeah, I remember that first meeting. Yeah. You didn't get me near you. And thankfully now you're a lot better now. You're more relaxed now, aren't you? Yeah, you are a lot more relaxed. And I hope it stays like that. Yeah. It took your time to be friendly. It took your time to get used to me, didn't it? It took your time. Over a month. Over a month. It took over a month before I got my first touch. Yeah. Over a month. Yeah. It took over a month before I got my first touch of him. Yeah. For over a month. Okay, folks. I will never forget that. Jesus, it took over a month before I got my first touch of Decoration. I don't know why I was so nervous. But anyway. Okay, folks. Sorry about the interactions. We're not getting so much great success here today. But I don't think I'm going to get that many videos today either. I didn't get that much chance with Lyrical Dunes and Irish Madam, and then the Farrier came. We came into the stud and there's no sign of the Living Legends, and I said to Liam, I bet you they'd be either in the cadet or the barn, or they'd be in the open stable, but they were in the barn. And I only had a limited time with them. I couldn't spend that much time with them. Well, I went in the barn, and then I happened to spot Irish Madam and Lyrical Dunes outside. So I fed them a little bit of grass, and then I went into the barn. I heard a bit of rattling in the barn, and Liam thought it was a tourist. And I heard it was a tourist, and then there was the farrier came in. So I only managed to feed them a little bit of grass, and then he was working on them. He started working on the legends, so I thought I would be in the way, so I left. So I decided to. Then there's no mares, no solid mares in any of the fields. No mares at all in the fields. Nowhere. All the fields were empty except the Carmar pony. The Carmar pony was the only one that was in the nursery, and there's only the Irish Madam and Lyrical Dunes in the back of 31. They're the only mares that are out. That's the only one of the main mares. Only out of the thoroughbred mares. Out of the thoroughbred mares, it's only Lyrical Dunes and Irish Madam. They're in the back of 31. and there was a Carmar pony. She was a nursery one, so they're the only mares that were out. And so the living legends were in the barn, so I didn't have that much time with them. So what I decided to do was come here, and I got chatting with a lovely girl from Germany. And she said she had stood here in Ireland, in here, not that far here, in Kildare. So we had a lovely chat with her, showing her my photographs of my friend Harriet Tubman. She's in a stud not too far from here, Ballymanny. So telling about her and telling the story about the lovely stallion, the former stallion who was sadly kidnapped from Ballymanny stud, where my friend is now, back in the early 80s by the IRA. So she never heard of him, but she was very saddened by the story. It was a tragic story, but it was a terrible story, and an awful way to go. But still investigating his death. Still not a clue exactly what happened to him, but presumably he was shot. But anyway, Sure Girl was a tragic story, but they're still showing documentaries on him, still telling stories on him and stuff. And I had to film at home. It's actually a very good movie. And beautiful horse, and he's worth a lot of money. Presumably, it's one of the main reasons why he's probably kidnapped. I'm not too sure, but he's kidnapped from his when the stud, and both the owners were asleep in their bed apparently when it happened. They're held at gunpoint, which is an awful way to. It's awful. It must have been terribly shocked, scary for them. But so I'm not too sure whether I'd be allowed to visit my friend Harriet Tubman. It's not owned by the government. You probably have to make an appointment to visit.
It's private.
It's private. It's a private stud. So
not public.
I might have to, if I wanted to visit her, I might have to make an appointment, presumably, because it's not like this stud here, because this is owned by the government. It's open to public. People can come and visit. While Manny, I might have to make an appointment if I wanted to visit Harriet Tubman, which is probably unlikely. But I'm in touch with her on Twitter. I'm in touch with the owner on Twitter, and she sends me photographs and keeps me updated on how Harriet's getting on. I have loads of photographs of her now, but over 30 photographs of her. And she's going to be in foal with her. She'll have her first foal, I think, next year. So I'll be keeping you updated on how Harriet's getting on. She's looking magnificent, by the way. She's looking great form. I have a folder in my